Hey Jake, how's it going?
What's up?
Would you like to open an ice cold, refreshing Coke with me on this fine New Year's Eve?
No, I'd rather have a Pepsi.
Well, you can get the out of here.
Okay.
Open a bottle of happiness today.
Now we'll be going to our field reporter, Jacob. He will be telling us about a World War II social topic, Rosie the Riveter.
Thank you, Jake and Zach. Rosie the Riveter was a national icon for all women during World War II. Due to all the men fighting on the front lines in World War II, all the women had to cover their jobs in the factories. A national propaganda poster that featured a woman going like this, saying, "We can do it," was Rosie the Riveter. This national propaganda poster drew many women to the factories. It served as a national icon, giving them hope that they could fill the men's jobs and meet the wartime supply and demand. Without Rosie the Riveter and the women she drew to the factories would have surely gone out of business. Without the factories meeting the wartime supply and demand, there is surely no way that the U.S. could have fought in World War II and helped the Allies come out with a victory. Overall, without Rosie the Riveter and the women she drew to the factories, the U.S. policy of total war would not have been possible. Back to you, Jake and Zach.
Thank you, Jacob. Women were truly a significant part of World War II.
Another very important part about World War II that has mostly been forgotten about is war bonds. A war bond is when a person loans the government money for a war that they are currently fighting. In return, the government will later pay them back with interest.
Now we will go to Jacob to get more details on the subject.
Thank you, Jake and Zach. War bonds in World War II were very important because the U.S. had to pay off their loans that they gave to other countries. Also, they would not have been able to pay for supplies, weaponry, factories would not have been able to stay open without war bonds. Without these war bonds, other countries that were given the loans would not have been able to fight Germany. Therefore, Germany probably would have taken over all of Europe and maybe even the world with Japan's help. Therefore, the Axis powers probably would have won World War II. Ultimately, the World War II war bonds were very important and vital to both Allies and the United States. Overall, without these war bonds, we may be celebrating this New Year's Eve under a German flag. Back to you, Jake and Zach.
Thank you, Jacob, for those interesting details on the war bonds. Now we'll be talking about our second political topic of the night, the relocation of Japanese families in America to internment camps.
Due to the attack on Pearl Harbor in December of 1941, Americans grew fearful of the idea of Japanese spies being in America.
Japanese American internment camps were the relocation and internment by the United States government in 1942 of approximately 110,000 Japanese Americans. Most of the internment camps were located on the Pacific coast of the United States. When a Japanese family was forced to leave their home, they had to sell all of their belongings because they did not know when they were going to be released from the internment camps. Most of the Japanese families got little to no money for their belongings due to the marketers taking advantage of the situation. In the end, the Supreme Court ruled that the internment camps were unconstitutional and they were discontinued in 1944.
Now we will go to a short commercial break.
Buy war bonds today so that America can defend itself from another world war with weapons like these.
Now we will go back to Jacob so he can tell us about some economic statistics of this last decade.
Thank you, Jake and Zach. Here are some economic statistics in the 1940s. In this last decade, 43 cents was the minimum wage. The average household income, though, was $4,000. Gas, which ran at an all-time high, which was 15 cents per gallon. Bread ran at about 13 cents per loaf. Houses ran at about $5,750 brand new. Cars, brand new, ran at about $1,100. Now back to you, Jake and Zach.
Thank you, Jacob. And that concludes our special broadcast for the evening. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jake.
Good night, America, and have a happy new year. Our first topic will be fashion. As you can see, Jake and I are both dressed up in the latest fashion. Also, our field reporter is dressed up in a more casual outfit I can't read that.
Oh my
Young
god.
rascals like to wear today.
God, you a merch.
Cause I'm blind.
Why can't you like remember it?
Or
Can't you make
because you didn't let me see it. I said let me go one more time. You're like, no, dude, it's fine. Just look at the run. Our first topic will be fashion. As you can see, Jake and I are both dressed up in the latest fashion. Our field reporter. Where'd it go? What are you doing?
Oh, wrong one.
Where'd it go? What are you doing? Do you want me to be like this? I could be like.
Yeah.
No, I'll just go like.
Come on, stop messing around.
And that concludes this very special evening. Fuck. And that concludes this special.
Wait, you start.
Thank you, Jacob. And that concludes our very special evening broadcast. From all of us here at BBC. Thank you, Jacob.
Sorry.
Thank you, Jacob. From all.
Come on, Jake. This is the easiest.
Thank you, Jacob. And that concludes our. God damn.
Sag.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Jacob. And that concludes our final fucking
Shit.
Jake, come on, dude. I'm gonna stand in there and do it if you guys aren't gonna do it. Okay, give it to me. I'm done.
It was him. No, I'm
done.
You can't do
I'll
it. Actually, we need to all stand in it, don't we?
Yeah.
No, you don't. I'm not. I'm field anchor. You guys are anchors. You always.
You can't. How are you laughing, Jake? There's nothing to laugh about right now.
Don't know.
Alright.
What are you laughing
I
at?
don't know. Why am I laughing? I have stage fright, coach. Because I looked down and that was black.
There's nothing.
Hi, welcome to BBC Daily. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jake.
Today we have a very special broadcast for you, being that it is New Year's Eve. Great.